Avila Pavas opts for the Indian defence London system against Krishna CRG in this Menorca Open 2025 Round 3 matchup. On d4. On e6. Knight f3. Knight f6 transposed into Indian defence London system. Bishop f4. On c5. On e3. On b6. Knight bd2. Bishop b7. On c3. Bishop e7. On h3. King castled kingside. Bishop e2. On d6. King castled kingside. Knight bd7. Bishop h2. Rook e8. On a4. On a6. Knight c4. On takes d4. On takes d4. Queen b8. It is novelty move. Bishop d3. Rook c8. Knight fd2. Bishop d5. On e4. Threatening pawn takes d5. Knight takes e4 played by Krishna CRG. Bishop takes e4. Bishop takes e4. Knight takes d6. Bishop takes d6. Bishop takes d6. Queen b7. Threatening bishop takes g2. Queen g4 played by Avila Pavas. Avila Pavas is aiming to play Queen takes e4. Queen takes e4. Knight takes e4 and dominate the board. Bishop f5 played by Krishna CRG. Threatening bishop takes g4. Queen f3 played by Avila Pavas. Threatening queen takes b7. Queen takes f3 played by Krishna CRG. Knight takes f3. Rook c2. Krishna CRG wants to play Knight f6. Rook fc1. Rook takes b2. Knight e5. Knight d5. Knight c4. Rook c2. On a5. On takes a5 and dominate the board. Rook fc1 played by Avila Pavas. Rook takes b2. Rook c7. Threatening rook takes d7. Knight f6 played by Krishna CRG. Bishop a3. Threatening bishop takes b2. Rook c2 played by Krishna CRG. Threatening rook takes c7. Rook b7 played by Avila Pavas. Knight d5. Knight e5. Rook c7. Threatening rook takes b7. Rook takes c7 played by Avila Pavas. Knight takes c7. Rook c1. Threatening rook takes c7. Knight d5 played by Krishna CRG. Rook c6. On b5. On a5. On b4. Threatening pawn takes a3. Bishop b2 played by Avila Pavas. On f6. Threatening pawn takes e5. Knight d7 played by Avila Pavas. Knight f4. Threatening knight takes g2. Knight b6 played by Avila Pavas. Threatening knight takes a8. Rook d8 played by Krishna CRG. Knight a4. Bishop d3. Knight c5. Bishop b5. Threatening bishop takes c6. Rook b6 played by Avila Pavas. Rook c8. Pawn f3. Pawn e5. Take a moment to spot the best move for Avila Pavas. King h2 is the correct move because pawn h5. Pawn h4. King h7. Rook d6. Knight g6. King h3. Still Avila Pavas is losing. Let's analyze the main game. Pawn e5. Threatening pawn takes d4. King f2. Slightly worse move played by Avila Pavas. Pawn takes d4. Bishop takes d4. Rook takes c5. Bishop takes c5. Knight d3 check. King e3. Threatening rook takes b5. Knight takes c5 played by Krishna. Crg. Pawn f4. King f7. Rook b8. King e6. Think carefully what is the best move for Avila Pavas. Rook d8 is a strong choice since pawn b3. King d2. Knight a4. Rook b8. King d6. Rook takes b5. Still Avila Pavas is losing. Let's proceed to the main variation. King e6. Pawn g4. Time to think. Find the best continuation for Krishna. Crg. King d5 is a strong choice since King d2. King c4. Rook g8. Pawn b3. Rook takes g7. King b4. Krishna. Crg have small advantage. Let's go to the main game. Pawn g4. Slightly worse move played by Avila Pavas. King d6 is not the best move played by Krishna. Crg. King d2. Knight b3 check. King c2. Threatening king takes b3. Knight takes a5 played by Krishna. Crg. Rook h8. Knight c6. Rook takes h7. Knight d4 check. King d2. Pawn a5. Rook takes g7. Pawn a4. Krishna. Crg intends to play pawn b3. Rook b7. Pawn b2. Rook takes b5. Knight takes b5. King c2. Pawn a3 and establish a winning position. Rook a7 played by Avila Pavas. Pawn a3. Pawn h4. Pawn b3. Rook takes a3. Pawn b2. Threatening pawn promotes to queen at b1. Rook b3 played by Avila Pavas. Knight takes b3 check. King c2. Knight c5. Krishna. Crg is looking to play knight a4. Pawn h5. Bishop c6. Pawn h6. Bishop e4 check and gain a significant edge. King takes b2 played by Avila Pavas. Knight d3 check. King c3. Knight takes f4. King d4. Bishop d7. Threatening bishop takes g4. King e4 played by Avila Pavas. Knight g2. Pawn h5. Bishop takes g4. Pawn h6. Time to think. Find the best continuation for Krishna. Crg. Knight h4 is the right idea because King d3. Bishop f5 check. King c3. Knight f3. King b4. Knight e5. Krishna CRG have small advantage. Let's explore the main variation. On h6. On f5 check is an inaccurate played by Krishna CRG. King d4. A masterful performance by Krishna CRG.